Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here to watch this video and enjoy some cookie decorating with me today. So as you saw in that first shot, I am decorating some watercolor apple sugar cookies today. And I have another video as well as a class in the SG Cookie Academy that goes into great detail and explains all the how-tos and techniques about hand painting cookies with gel food coloring. I use lemon extract personally because it has that high alcohol content. So I've started by flooding with royal icing, and I have used a thicker consistency icing on the stem of the apple here so that I have that texture when I paint over it. But I did just a smooth flood consistency on the main part of the apple. I've allowed that to dry for at least 8 hours. I always like to do the flooding on the night before. That way it's got plenty of time to dry before I start painting, because if you start painting on a even slightly wet cookie, it's really gonna mess up the look of your painted cookie and it could dent the smooth surface of the icing. Now I'm layering a few different colors. I like to add a little bit of brown to make my reds darker, and then I'm adding a bit of a highlight up here at the top with some yellow so that it kind of looks like the sun's hitting the apple from the side. Hand painting cookies really isn't all that different from watercolor painting in general. I like to look on Pinterest and Instagram at videos of watercolor painting and people using different painting techniques, because that really inspires me when it comes to cookie making. You can use a lot of the same techniques. It is a little different. You do have to get used to the way the icing absorbs the color and the way that you would layer the color to get the look you're going for. I tend to start light and build up from there. That seems to be the safest method. You can't really lighten the color once it's on the icing because there's no taking it back once you lay it down. That's why I prefer to kind of build slowly. Now to make this green, I didn't use a specific food coloring. I used a little bit of yellow and a little bit of black, and I like the kind of foresty sage green that gives, and also the mixture of colors. It looks really realistic and natural. More so than any green food coloring I've been able to find. There may be a specialty one out there where you can buy this already in that color, but I just prefer to mix the yellow and black, and I can kind of have control over how bright that is with the yellow and how dark it is by adding more black. So I'm using that same thick icing texture technique on this tree, and I started by just doing the branches, the trunk, and the apples. I'm going to be painting those and then adding in the leaves later. So I'll allow this to dry completely before I start painting. With the magic of video, you get to see it all at once, so I think it kind of downplays how long it actually takes to make these cookies. But all told, these were about a 3-day process. Of course, broken up in small slots of time throughout that 3 days, but if you've made cookies before, you know you might cookie a little and then go do another set or do something different, and then come back once that first portion is dried, cookie a little more. You can speed this process by putting your cookies in a dehydrator or a cool oven. I tell my members if they need to kind of skip some time in the process, then they can put their cookies in a 170-degree oven, or just as low as your oven goes. Mine goes down to 170. So I just turn it on to 170, allow it to preheat, then turn it off. Then let it sit with the door open just at the top a little bit for about 15 minutes. And then I place the cookies in that coolish warm oven to dry. And you can also do this with a dehydrator. I've never personally tried one, but there are some great blogs and videos out there about using a dehydrator with cookies to dry that icing faster. So I did a little bit of highlight and shade on these smaller apples just with some white gel food coloring. I like the Watercolor brand. Now I've cut this tipless piping bag in a V shape in order to make some leaves on the tree. I've got another class in the SG Cookie Academy all about florals and creating pretty petals and leaves from piping bags and piping tips. If you're interested in the floral part of cookie decorating, that might be something you'd like to see. I'll link all these resources I'm talking about in the description below for you to check out if you'd like to. I'm painting these leaves with a little bit of that same mixture of yellow and black gel food coloring, and I like to kind of spread mine out throughout the paint palette. That way I can do different shades, and just mixing two different colors in itself will give you a little bit of dimension and differentiation between the shades. I like to add in quite a bit of yellow so that it kind of has a fall look. We've hit September, so it's time to start celebrating fall, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. The year's pretty much over once you hit September. You go into all those fall and winter holidays. I saw some Christmas stuff out at Target the other day. I was like, okay, we're getting really, really early with the Christmas stuff now. This cookie is going to be, well, the look that I intended was a blanket on the ground. I hope it came out with that look. This was my least favorite of the set. I just wasn't as crazy about it as I was the other two, but I decided to go ahead and share it just because it was still a pretty okay cookie. I still thought it was pretty, and I preach all the time about just because it's not your favorite doesn't mean that it's not good, and just because you're self-conscious of it doesn't mean that other people don't think it's beautiful. So I'm trying to walk what I talk here and share the one that I didn't love quite as much. But the intention was for this to look like a blanket on the ground with a basket of apples sitting on top of it, and I just don't think I got the dimension right on the basket, but it was still cute. You could do a gingham pattern like this with an airbrush. You can use the stripe airbrush stencils and create this gingham pattern, but I love the look of a hand-painted pattern. I think it looks really homemade and kind of like a handmade quilt. I wanted it to look like it was folded up on the ground, so I did the gingham going in a couple different directions. As we move into this fall season, my boys turned 3 in May, and they're getting to that age where we like to go and do things. And now that things are starting to calm down a little bit and things are opening back up, we're looking for some fun fall activities to do with 3 almost 4-year-olds. So if you have any ideas for fall activities, we're thinking like maybe apple picking, pumpkin patch, that kind of thing. Drop them in the comments below. Let me know what you like to do with your little ones, whether that's your kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews. What are those fun fall activities that you like to do when the weather starts cooling off a bit? If it ever does here in the South. It's usually about January before we start having a real winter here lately. I think I actually wore short sleeves to Christmas last year. I'm using that same leaf piping technique with the V cut at the end of the piping bag to create like a grass look around this cookie. And again, with all of these cookies, I'm allowing that icing to dry completely before I start painting on it. I've edited it to make it look like it all happens immediately, but that does have to dry at least 6 to 8 hours before I paint it. I'd love it if you let me know if you like videos like this style of kind of voicing over a quick design tutorial. If you prefer a different style video, maybe more high speed or a little bit more instructional with tips and stuff, I'd love to know what you'd like to see on the channel in the future, because I am here making videos for you to help you as you learn to make cookies. Or if you're not learning to make cookies, maybe you're just watching these videos to relax in the evenings, let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel. You can also hit the bell notification icon next to the subscribe button. That will let you know each time I post a new video. That way you don't miss any new content. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you have the best week, and come back again next week on Tuesday for a compilation video of a bunch of different cookies using the wet on wet royal icing technique. I'll see you then. Bye bye. Hey y'all, I'm Sarah Grace. I'm a small town mama who started a cookie decorating business that allowed me the flexibility to work from home and spend more time with my kids. I created this YouTube channel as well as the SG Cookie Academy to teach you the cookie decorating you need in order to do the same. You can find info in the description on how to start decorating cookies like a pro as soon as this weekend. Thanks so much for watching.